participate and sit down and watch a fire yagya, agnihotra, homa, havan, whatever you want to call it. All right? And we're going to initiate two devotees, Sunil and also Joseph. And we are going to be second initiation by a devotee for Gopal Krishna Maharaj disciple. His name is Gambhira Gaura. And Mataji, you're sitting in by the fire. You took Diksha as well. Your name? Give it. Let's get going. We've got 1 hour. Hare Krishna. We just have to keep that in mind. We're restricted in time. Hare Krishna. So, when do we? Okay. Hare Krishna. Everyone's feeling holy, I hope. Hare Krishna. And Jai Krishna is presiding over, watching. This should be done. Shall we? Okay, great. This will be hard otherwise. All right. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Om Jnanatamrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes. With the torch of knowledge, I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So thank you. By the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we are able to conduct this program. And first of all, we'll start with a little class, and then we'll go for the name giving, and vows will be made just prior to that. And then the rest of the ritual will begin. And so thank you very much, Jai Krishna, for making this happen. Hare Krishna. Jai. So today is September. We're going to be speaking from chapter 9, because it's the 9th month of the year. And so verse 22. You can't get a better shloka than this. I'll read it to you right now. Ananyas chintyanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityayuktanam yogakshima pahamyam. Translation. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack, and I preserve what they have. Could the doors be closed, maybe, you think? Like in the bottom ones. There's a lot of all right, purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktimarga Swami Prabhupada. One who is unable to live for a moment without Krishna consciousness cannot but think of Krishna 24 hours a day, being engaged in devotional service by hearing, chanting, remembering, offering prayers, worshiping, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, rendering other services, cultivating friendship, and surrendering fully to the Lord. Such activities are all auspicious and full of spiritual potencies, which make the devotee perfect in self-realization. So that his only desire is to achieve the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a devotee undoubtedly approaches the Lord without difficulty. This is called yoga. By the mercy of the Lord, such a devotee never comes back to this material condition of life. Shema refers to the merciful protection of the Lord. The Lord helps the devotee to achieve Krishna consciousness by yoga. And when he becomes fully Krishna conscious, the Lord protects him from falling down to a miserable condition of life. Hare Krishna. Beautiful. Namo Shivaya Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Vicharini Irvishesha Shrinyavadi Paschachade Shatarini. The reason why I mentioned that this is a really powerful verse is because the last segment, Yoga Shema Bahamyam, I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. So this shows how kind Krishna is to us, how kind Krishna is to his devotee. If we have some deficiency, if we have something that's missing, a shortcoming, the Lord will fill in the gap. In other words, there's a vacuum, there's a hole, and we all have holes. And the Lord comes to fill up those holes. Just like here in Vrindaban, I'm sure after the springtime, there's probably some potholes around. They need to be filled. What to speak of the main road when you come in. I remember a few years ago, there was so much erosion, there was only half a road, and already there's no shoulder to the road. So you better be very attentive, right? So what's nice about what Krishna is saying here, I carry what they lack. Srila Prabhupada once gave a talk, and, well, he gave many talks, not rarely, but he was on the Vyasa, and one of the last lines he delivered was, so you have to surrender 100%. Prabhupada liked to use that word salt, which is French. Salt. Drop the T, or make it silent. 100%. You must know some French. Right, and that means you have to give it all. Sarva Dharma, but Sarva indicates 100%. Now, when this was mentioned to you devotees listening to the class, there was a little bit of an apprehension. You could see on the faces of some of the devotees saying, "Oh my God, I have to do it all. But what are the chances? What are the chances of me succeeding in this particular request or demand?" And you could see some of the devotees were saying, "I don't know if I'll make it." And then Prabhupada got up from his Vyasasana and he took a step down. There was some stairs. And he said, at least 90% you surrender. And they went down another step. 80, he brought down to 70. 70%. That gave everyone some hope. So the point is, because of our deficiencies, because of our, let's say, those things that we, speaking of carrying, things that we've carried from the previous life, conditioning that makes it hard for us to give it all. Therefore, the Lord is showing his compassion, his kindness, by saying, I'll take care of that portion. And when Krishna is making that request, surrender to me, give it all, it looks like we're supposed to give all of our love. Is there some love coming from the other side? Is it a two-way street or is it a one-way street? Sounds like a one-way street sometimes, right? But there's cases like chapter 10 where Krishna says, I'm the light in your heart, and even though there's darkness, I'll be there for you. So there's like indications very clearly that Krishna is there to help us with our deficiencies. He's going to be there for us. He'll carry. Now, these days, if anybody goes on a flight somewhere, there's a carry-on, and there's also a check-in. Have you ever got that experience? Looks like both will be taken care of, both of your baggages. In other words, Krishna's saying, I'll take care of your baggage. And when we talk about the bad karma that we're born with, it is like baggage. It's like, I don't really need it. I don't need to carry this. I learned from my marathon walks across the US, Canada, and all that. I don't need a lot of baggage. You know, I don't need to be burdened. I'll just sweat more than I already am. All I need is my beads. That's all. My beads in my bead bag or in my pocket. Now, I don't generally carry water. That's also a burden. I'm kind of a camel, you know. And there's always a support person nearby, you know, that will check on me to see if I'm still alive. So I kept it really simple, and that's what Krishna consciousness is all about. Unfortunately, we've become very complex in our way of thinking, and a lot of people overthink. That's a term that's very common now. We overthink. It appears that there's many more distractions now than ever before. We have so many things around us, so many enticements around. So if you're in a position to keep it simple, and we are living in a world of choice, then keep it simple. Don't make it complicated. The more you own, the more you purchase, the more headaches there are. So keep it simple. That's all. Yoga Kshema Vahamyanam. Whatever you have, that's good. He'll say, I'll keep it. And so he preserves it. Krishna's a preservative. You know how when people preserve, they jar their veggies or something like that, or their fruit, you know, there's preservatives in there. It could be spices, it could be some dill, it could be some salt, it could be some sugar. Of course, I'm talking about the good sugar and the good salt, right? They're preservatives. They have been functioning like that. How much value was placed on salt and sugar in the past? Because they keep things for a while. Oil, I guess, is there too. So he preserves, and then he'll fill in where we're missing. What's missing? The missing link is Krishna. In the world in which we live, the world of madness, the world of consumerism and capitalism, there's a lot missing. And that missing is Krishna. We think we can get along in this world without believing in a superior power, some great intelligence above us. It's practically impossible. I can't myself perceive an individual being happy without believing in something greater than you. As the COVID period was sort of subsiding, there was one lawyer who was coming to visit in the temple in Toronto. And he said, can I talk to you? So we made an arrangement for the next day. We went to the park nearby. And he said, I just want to let you know, whatever you're going to say to me, I'm an atheist. Okay, great. Well, that's a great way to start. He said, no problem. But please give some consideration to this. There's you, and there's everything else. There's you and the whole big wide world. What is more significant, you or everything else? He said, oh, everything around me is much greater than I am, greater magnitude and all that. So great, that's fantastic. I mean, I think that's just a great way to start here. Because, you know, what you've done, you've taken a humble position. And this is where belief in me being insignificant starts from. And everything else is just so much more grander than I am. So, you know, people who have certain convictions, they're not going to change, they're not going to convert right away. It takes a little time. It really does. So I let him have his time. I don't know where he stands right now these days, whether he is believing in Supreme or not. But I'm just hoping that a little something happened there. A little something. I mean, everything great. Little drops wear away the stone, Prabhupada used to say. Little drop, one drop, another one. And eventually the stone wears down and gets a big hole in it. It might go like a laser eventually. And there's just like to be a big hole in there. So little incremental steps towards Krishna consciousness are very powerful, meaningful. Chapter 2 from Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Dehavikramanasyasti pratyavayo navidyate svopamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahatuvayat. And there the Lord is saying that any little endeavor, a little endeavor that can protect you from the greatest form of bhaya. Bhaya means fear. So that's one thing. And little things done with a lot of love, like we're looking at chapter 9, and just 4 verses from here, Krishna's making a statement. Hello. Patram pushpapalam toyam yo me bhakti prayachati tadaham bhakti bharitam ashnami prayatat manaha. It's one of the key slokas. Chapter 9 is like a smack in the middle of the Gita. There's a lot of good stuff there. Somebody's calling. You can say it. Panchami, I'm busy right now in the middle of a fire sacrifice. Here in Vrindaban, everybody wants to say Haribol. 1, 2, 3. Is that good enough for now? Has to be. All right. Okay, so what's unique about that shloka in the Gita is that Krishna is saying, offer it to me with love and devotion, a leaf, a flower, not a bouquet, not a garden, even a petal. Sometimes we offer petals to the deities, to the guru and so on like that. Just as long as it's done with love, then that's great. That's all Krishna is interested in. And that's all that we should be interested in. Love. Okay, now let's talk about yoga for a minute, right? Yoga Kshema Bahamyaham. That is one of the key words that's addressed here, and Srila Prabhupada pulls it out several times. It's yoga. Yoga means to connect, or rather to reconnect. For those of us who are conditioned in this world, we were connected and we got disconnected. You know, it's just a matter. There's nothing worse than being disconnected from something that's important to you, like a disconnect with family, disconnect with friends, and like say, why aren't you talking to me anymore? I still like you, don't you like me? What happened? So the same thing with the Lord, with Krishna. It's just a matter of connecting again through love. I mean, there's so many relationships in this world. Krishna had a relationship with Kamsa, and it wasn't a nice one. It was full of defiance and full of animosity and so on like that. But Kamsa, he was a great meditator. Talk about somebody who probably was overthinking. He was always thinking about Krishna, but in an inimical way, you know, and that we don't want. You know, really, I admired the guy because he was so focused. He was so focused on meditating on the absolute, not in the best terms, but nevertheless, he was really focused, and that's what we want to do, right? So yoga means to reconnect, and takes a little time to get there. For some people, it means taking the step towards what's happening right now. Some devotees are going to make a formal vow. I'm going to connect with somebody who will cheer me up, who will help me in that reconnection, being a member again. And by the way, Prabhupada does address in this particular purport the 9 processes of devotional service. And one of them is smaranam, remembrance. So we were once a member of his world, and we disconnected. So now it's time to remember. And those who remember go through steps like this, Diksha, which is simply making a, like signing a contract. I accept you as my coach, my cheerleader, my guide, my whatever else. Everything but God. Maybe a representative of God, but not God. Don't ever go there. And so this is how it happens. Yoga is much more than some of my friends who teach yoga, such as you, Jack, will know that it's a lot more than just stretching. It's a lot more than just knowing how to breathe properly. It's got to go a lot deeper. And it's like reconnecting from heart to heart in that way with Krishna. It's not an easy thing to do. It might sound a little abstract. There's times when we think, is Krishna really there? But one thing, if we have that challenge, at least we can look at somebody, well, there's somebody there in the flesh that's for real, for me. And at least that person represents Krishna, isn't Krishna, but represents Krishna by behavior and by words. Don't be fooled by somebody who just comes across with words, but that individual also has to, act it out, practice what he or she preaches. There's one of the nice quotes that I like from Francis of Assisi. He said, preach, and if you have to, use some words. So in other words, he was saying, it's through behavior and it's through actions that speak louder than words. Isn't it nice? So those devotees who are claiming as such, I'm a devotee, and especially to those who are taking vows, it just means, okay, act it out now. You're representing somebody. You're representing a lineage, which leads up the line of people, takes you to over there. Lord Shri Krishna and his consort, he and she. He, capital H, capital S for she. That's how it works. And simple acts of devotion. And that's how the reconnection takes place. That is real yoga. To yoke, to connect with. Just like horses, you have to tie them up. By the way, in the play, did you actually yoke your horse?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, okay, right. Because that was the directive we gave near the end. Make sure you tie down your horse, otherwise it'll take off. All right, so that's it. What the Lord is saying here in chapter 9 says, always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditate on my form, God as a person. That's what's implied by the word jana. I'm a person, Krishna's saying. So meditate on me as a person. Not some boy, not some like Jyoti, but if there's a Jyoti, then realize that that's the shine that's coming off of me. That's the effulgence. But if you can get to the core, that's me. That's really me. It's all me. There isn't anything without Krishna, honestly. But if we can get to the core, the personality, the person who's speaking this truth here in the Bhagavad Gita, that's Krishna. That's where we want to go. So he says, I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. Prabhupada mentions about the 9 processes of devotional service. Basically, Prabhupada has given us that. And it starts off with hearing, and then it goes on to repeating what you've heard, and it's smaranam, remembrance, and it's vandanam. Sometimes we need to pray. Everybody knows Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. It's a prayer, isn't it? You're asking the Lord, please keep me busy in your service. There's nothing worse than not being busy. That's when the mind kind of takes over. That's why people go mental often. So the missing link is in being engaged through prayer. Prayer is a kind of communication. It's a talk, having a talk with God. serving at the lotus feet of the Lord, pada sevanam, taking humble position, in other words, and then rendering all other kinds of services, just like make God your friend. In fact, make everybody your friend. There's a piece of God in everybody, so try to be friendly. Of course, some people don't want to be friendly, so you just, let's say, respect them from a distance is probably a good idea until they warm up, okay? Or you warm up, or both. Has to start from somewhere. Friendship, and then finally, just a full-on submission. From this day, Lord, I'm yours. That kind of surrender. That's all that's required. 9 practices of devotion service is all that's needed. And Srila Prabhupada has kindly given them all to us and shown them how it works. So for devotees who are taking their first initiation, we pay special attention to 10 practices. Let's say we look at some offenses. And usually when you're dealing with offenses, it's better to exercise defenses. Anyways, the first one is, the one you really have to keep an eye on, is not to be critical. Don't crucify. In other words, don't crucify the people who are on the spiritual path, especially there. Anybody who's trying to make an endeavor towards purification, you don't have to get on their case. Get in your own case. Buy a mirror. They're cheap at Walmart. Get a mirror and look inside yourself instead of, criticizing other people. I can remember, that when computers started to become a major, form of practice or execution amongst the devotees, created a lot of uneasiness. And Guru Das, some of you might know Guru Das, Prabhupada's disciple, who played a major role on the West Coast and then went with Yamuna to India to help start a Vrindaban. He asked Prabhupada once, what will it mean? Will, in the future, people will be using computers for communication. Do you think it will be good for us in our community to use computers? And Prabhupada's answer was, they will gossip. So I guess that's just human nature. There's a lot of that going on, a lot of missiles being sent from way back. You don't know where coming at you. You don't even know who the people are sometimes. And the attempt to stay right in the heart to really kill your personage, kill your reputation and so on like that. Not that computers are bad. I think most of us got here because of computers. We got through the internet, we learned, there's a mantra retreat, or there's this wonderful place in the hills of the Appalachians, and you can get close to God there. All those kind of things. Yeah, so the first offense, particularly in the realm of chanting, the culture of chanting Krishna's name, is to be critical of other people who are on the same path. And just like, say, if you're in a dormitory or you're living in an ashram or something like that, and there's multiple units for showering, and you can't just come in there and criticize somebody because they're half done their shower, and you say, oh, you're so dirty, you're so filthy. But the person is taking a shower, and that person's intent is to try to cover as much of the body as possible. It's not exactly like diving into a lake where it covers everything. But a shower is just something you're intending to get clean. So somebody is in the process of cleaning, but there's still some dirt there, sweat or whatever it is that you're not so likable. The person's in the process working, and within time, maybe a minute, give it a minute, and everything will be okay. Who are we to criticize? So that's at the top of the list. People love to rank 10, top 10 this, top 10 that. Well, these are the top 10. The one at the top is not to be critical of other devotees when you live in a glass house yourself. Yeah, so then there's others. So some numbers we can remember, I'll say really take seriously. Those 10 offenses we avoid as best as possible when chanting Krishna's name or rendering service, period. And there's also 16 rounds that we're committing to. Srila Prabhupada set the standard for us there. There's 4 regulative principles that we embrace, that we follow. There's a few. There's 7 purposes of ISKCON, because when you get initiated by a representative of Srila Prabhupada, it means you're becoming an actual member. In heart, in spirit. There are 9 processes, 9 processes of devotional service. That's another number, but let's go back to 7. 7 purposes of ISKCON. Look at them. And you know what they're mostly all about? It's all about education. It's all about, delivering the message. It's all about reaching out to people. That's the summary of it all. There's very little mention about puja or ritual, not that I'm trying to belittle it, or Srila Prabhupada is trying to belittle it, but basically he wanted people to be well informed because there's an imbalance in society today. To check the imbalanced lives. That's at the top. That's what's mentioned initially. And then in the end, we're talking about publications or disbursement of wisdom, knowledge. That's where an educated movement. We are one to say very clearly, that body. I remember one town I went through when I was walking the first time through. And that's the place where I met devotees, so it's kind of a special place for me. I was taking a course on fine arts, and the local newspaper came by, and they interviewed me, with a microphone. And I just told them, well, most of us are living our lives based on the big lie. And they liked that line. It got we got on the front page of the newspaper the next day. And then the big lie. Okay, what's the big lie? The big lie is, you're the body. Enjoy it. It's part of pop culture. Pop means sin culture. So let's get it right. I'm not this body. I'm not this machine. I am the spirit behind it. And of course that gives some people something to think about, right? That is pretty much a baseline to our philosophy. I'm a spirit. What else? What else about this spirit? Well, what do you do about that piece of information? This spirit is very alive. It doesn't just exist. It's not just tatvamasi. You are there. You are it. You are. Or I am what I am. And that's all what I am. That's a line from Popeye the Sailor Man, by the way. Popeye Uvacha. I am what I am. Well, what are you? I'm a spiritual servant. A little additional info. Servant of what? Servant of the Supreme Krishna, the one who speaks this Bhagavad Gita. That's what I am. So, reinforcement of the truth and not the lie lies in serving Krishna, serving his devotees, and you can also ask the question, who are the devotees? Answer, everybody. Everybody. Even those who don't identify with devotional life, they're also devotees. There's just some layers of nonsense there. It has to be scraped away. And then you'll actually see, like peeling a banana. How do you like that image? Peeling the banana. Is anybody interested in eating bananas? Mm-hmm. But the peels part, that is not very nice. But if you have green bananas, I just want to tell you a secret. I learned this from a lady from Kashmir in the kitchen. You have green bananas. I'm not talking about the plantain. But you cut them, they're still a bit hard, and you boil them or you saute them with some tomato sauce. basically we want to get to the core. The core is Krishna, right? And all along, I thought it was me. I'm the core. When I was born, it's the most important time in history. That's the ego. Ego, E-G-O, edging God out. So we're taking initiation so that we'll be able to hear from someone. It's not just you. It's not just your mind or your ego. You're hearing from someone else. So we just want to say those devotees are getting initiated. We have Mataji here who's going for her second. And I'm sorry, Prabhu here, Gambhira. Right? And be strong with your sadhana. If you want strength, exercise your sadhana. And let's see, there's sadhana, there's shastra, and there's sangha. Those are 3 S's that are really make it powerful in our life. Sangha, perhaps the most important of the 3, because where there's good sangha, you're going to go to the shastra, and you'll also be encouraged to do the sadhana. Right? That's it. And make good friends, and please don't gossip. It's terrible. It's the worst thing you could do. Gossip is a lethal weapon. I think it should be the 5th regulative principle. All right, so I think that's good enough for now because we're going on and many of us are involved in the mantra retreat. We want to get in there by 11 o'clock, right? We also have to check out. So let's check out, but now we're going to check in with our Mr. Pandit Prabhu. And what would you like us to do? Devotees will go for their... Okay, so initiates, I guess what you could do, you can both go at the same time to Prabhupada and offer your obeisances, the pranams to Prabhupada. Both of you can go together, and then you can come and offer obeisances here. And in the meantime, everybody can chant Hare Krishna and offer blessings to these 2 great souls. And then after the ceremony is over, we'll figure a time when we give you the Gayatri mantra. Okay? All right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I think that's good enough. Okay. Jai Hare Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki. Jai. So you might keep this shloka in mind, 9:22. All right? So we'll start with Sunil Prabhu. Okay. And I've got reviews. I've got a tag on here. You charge a lot of money for these things. All right. Just where you are. That's good. So can you just let us know what are the 4 regulative principles that you'll honor until the day you die? Go ahead. Yes. Si, senor. Here.
No gambling, no illicit sex, and I'm just remembering. Yes. No meat eating. Yes. Yeah. No intoxication. More than 16 rounds. Yeah.
Alright, 16 is good enough. Okay, so Sunil will give you the name. It starts with an S. illicit sex, and no gambling.
Of course, we love the English accent. Or we're the ones with the accent, right? Us North Americans. Okay, and how many rounds will you chant every day?
16 rounds.
So we thought we'd give you the name that's would indicate liberation. Jivan Mukta Das. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Haribo. Thank you for honoring the new names. And I guess you can take your seat and we'll continue with the rest of the Havan. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare.
Om. Please repeat. Ajnana timirandhasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshur unmilitam yena tasmai shri चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितंश्च स्वाहा 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 ॐ नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने स्वाहा 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 ॐ नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे स्वाहा 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 ॐ नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वती इति नामिने स्वाहा 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 ॐ श्रीवार्षभानवी देवी दैताय कृपाब्धये कृष्णसम्बन्ध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः स्वाहा 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 ॐ माधुर्योज्ज्वल प्रेमाढ्य श्रीरूपानुग भक्तिद श्रीगौर करुणशक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते स्वाहा 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 ॐ नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुग विरुद्धाप सिद्धान्त स्वान्तहारिणे स्वाहा 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 ॐ नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भ रसाम्भोदे पदाम्भोजयते नमः स्वाहा 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 ॐ गौरविर्भाव भूमिस्त्वं निर्दिष्टः सः जनप्रियः वैष्णव सार्वभौमः श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः स्वाहा 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 ॐ वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा 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 ॐ नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः स्वाहा 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 अमृतशक्तिकं स्वाहा 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 ॐ हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते स्वाहा 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 ॐ जयतां सुरतो पंगुर् मम मंथ मतिर्हति मत्सर्वस्व पदाम्बोजौ राधा मदनमोहनो स्वाहा 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 ॐ दिव्य वृन्दारण्य कल्पद्रुमदः श्रीमद् रत्नागार सिंहासनस्थो श्रीमद् राधा शील गोविन्ददेवो प्रेष्ठालिभिः सेव्यमानो स्मरामि स्वाहा 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 ॐ श्रीमन् रास रसारंभी वंशी वटः तटस्थितः कर्षणवेणु स्वनैर्गोपीर् गोपीनाथ श्रियस्तु नः स्वाहा 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 ॐ तप्तकाञ्चन
तप्तकाञ्चन
गौराङ्गी
गौराङ्गी राधे
वृन्दावनेश्वरी
वृन्दावनेश्वरी ऋषभानु
सुते देवी
श्रुते देवी
प्रणमामि
प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये स्वाहा 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 ॐ
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद स्वाहा 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 ॐ हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे स्वाहा स्वाहा शम्भो